What's up, meatheads? We're here to invite you to cruise on over to our brand new website, www.cookinmeat.net, where you can find clips of the show, the raddest home professional cooking apparel there is, shirts, hats, aprons, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, www.cookinmeat.net.
Well, there you have it, meatheads. Can Chef Pat still skate? Yes. Should he? No. Because I have severely injured myself and I cannot cook today. So, for this episode, I'm gonna bring in a special guest, a little helping hand, longtime friend of the show, Chef David Ness. Give him a more meaty welcome.
Hello there. Hey, Chef Pat, good to see you. I heard you're hurting yourself, huh?
It was horrifying.
Well, I brought you a gift. A little bit of Three Floyds Zombie Dust beer in here.
Hey,
Miss the boys.
love that. Thank you. What a perfect gift. Help take away some of the pain.
As well as I brought some of my weed stash in here. Because today I want to cook for us a home-style meal. A meal that you can make while your eyes are half shut and you're high as hell.
So this is a perfect dish for all the meatheads out
I
there.
don't know if we can do this on like YouTube or anything like that, or if this is like...
We don't care. And since we have a guest chef, you know what that means. It's time for your favorite segment, Mystery Meat.
Salute. Well,
All right.
mystery meat.
So, Chef David, what is the mystery meat that we're gonna be cooking today?
Mystery meat today, I like a good old family favorite, chicken.
We just want to give a special shout out to Edwards Meats down in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Get your meat from a real butcher shop. Go to old school butcher shop, support your local butcher. These guys will do custom cuts. Literally, we went in there asking for a specific airline chicken breast. They took a whole chicken and gave us one custom just for us. So thank you, Edwards Meats, and keep up the meats.
Sponsored by Blue Chew and Hims.
In the tradition of cooking meat, we're gonna let Chef David do all the work, and I'm just gonna smoke a bunch of weed and watch.
All right, so we're in here on this action-packed day. We got our meats over here. I do have a couple things I want to make here. I want to start off with a classic steak salad. Real light and fresh, you know. It's going to have some good old-fashioned filet. We got some pears in here. I'm going to like get these a little caramelized, maybe a little bit. Got gorgonzola. Beautiful cheese here. Beautiful stinky cheese. It smells like Godzilla's breath after a night of drinking. And then you got fucking pecans. Good old classic pecans. We can candy these if you want, you know. I can get some brown sugar, some cayenne, a little chili powder on there. Bam, bada bing, bada boom. Wait, that's emerald. I'll say 10 Hail Marys after this segment. So we'll start off with a light appetizer of a steak salad. Hot pans here. Going to get a cast iron going nice and warm. Oil and some herbs just to keep it classic. But what you got going on in here is pretty simplistic, you know. I already took 2 edibles on my way over here. Take a hot shower after you take an edible. It's gonna kick in way faster. Look at this, we got some beautiful extra virgin olive oil. This olive oil, it's extra virgin, that's why it likes Magic the Gathering. Everything's beautiful, you know, life is beautiful. Got some rosemary, some sage. With this steak, we wanna do just a light sear on it. So I would think like some rosemary in there, and we'll just save the sage in time for when we're dealing with the chicken later on. Take a few sprigs.
Spank it.
You gotta tenderize that meat.
It's a naughty steak.
So it feels good, so it feels happy. You know, that meat knows you're there. Real fine grain pink salt. Look at how that's like sand right there.
From the Himalayas.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Himalayas, I prefer the Himalayas. All right. Just a quick light sear on this steak, and then we'll probably toss it in the oven for just a second. A little bit of cracked pepper would be nice. Dude, did you see that thing about Billy Corgan and Bill Burr?
Yes.
Isn't that fucking wild? That's real, dude.
No, I couldn't tell if it was a gag or if it was real. Ricky and I have the same dad too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he cool?
He was my football coach. Shout out to Coach Rick for keeping the dream alive, man.
Coach Rick, baby. Good shit, Chef Coach Rick. All right. I'm not going to candy these pecans because I don't really want to play around too much time and do too much today.
You fit right in the Cookin Meat Studio. We like to cut corners when we don't have to.
Sometimes I'm a bit lazy.
This is a good beer.
Very delicious beer. She's getting a little bit darker. We want to get nice crunch on both sides and probably throw a splash of this beer in there and then just put it in the oven just to finish it to a nice medium rare. Nice, and I like it rare. I like a cold center, you know what I mean? And I'm not a racist. Some people are like, he's an asshole because he likes red meat. And I'm like, no, I just like red meat.
We preach medium rare. We preach medium on fish. I do medium in pork. Like pork chops, I'll cook medium.
Oh, yeah.
Roast and stuff, we'll cook a little bit further. But we haven't done a ton of wild game yet. We've done a wild game chili. But when you cook elk or venison, any kind of like deer like that, you really just serve it blue almost. Hot, 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 and then blue, because the more you cook it, the gamier it tastes. That's the best way to eat game meat. So we'll get there eventually, but there's still a lot of animals left for us to kill and eat.
You ever cook gator at all?
Gator?
You ever had gator?
Absolutely.
Fucking miss it, man.
Yeah, gator's good, dude.
I was just thinking about it the other day, kind of just reminiscing over some last time I had that, I was in New Orleans and I was too drunk to appreciate it. To appreciate that gator there. The old onion.
What's one of the more unique things you've ever eaten? Kitchen or traveling or otherwise?
Oh man, I mean, unique. I gotta say I'm a big fan of squid ink. I've done a lot of squid ink pastas before. Classic ravioli. Got your mozzarella ricotta, lemon zest, squid ink pasta.
That sounds awesome, dude.
And then like
that
a cheese sauce over it. It's fucking delicious.
I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, I'm pretty sure in Peru they do a squid ink ceviche. It's like a black ceviche.
Ooh,
yeah.
good.
Peru or Panama? Panama City, maybe it's Peru, maybe it's Chile. Honestly can't remember. It's somewhere there though.
Here we go. We're starting to get a nice sear on that steak. And we keep it thick and whole.
Looks nice. Chef David, what's one of your favorite dishes that you've prepared in a restaurant?
This is miso risotto.
Ooh.
Miso risotto with like a bourbon glazed salmon.
Oh,
And
hell yeah, dude.
It's a great cut, great fillet. You serve it with a little bit of side of asparagus, and it just smells so
God, I was gonna say that salt from the miso must go so good with like the fatty salmon. That just might be a great combo. Also, I don't know if you noticed what Chef David was doing. We preached this before. When you cook a filet mignon and you got a big fat ball of meat, you gotta hit it on all sides. You gotta hit it on all sides.
See that? Just touching all the corners too. You don't need to overcook it on the sides, because then you start cooking the inside center too much. You can do just a little touch on the outside sides, get a little bit going.
Perfect. And of course, we get all our beef from Christensen Ranch. Please visit christensenranch.com for all your beefy needs. If you've noticed, we haven't referred to the periodic table of beef this time because we've already done filet mignon in an earlier episode, just as a standalone. So to learn more about the history and facts of the filet mignon, please check out our very first Cookin Meat episode, filet mignon. But just as a quick reference, periodic table of beef, the filet mignon comes from the tenderloin, you slice a little piece off, and it becomes a filet mignon steak. Periodic table of beef, brought to you by christensenranch.com.
Hell yeah.
Don't forget to check the special promo codes in the comments. What's that thing? Or the description?
Bio.
Yeah, bio.
Link in the bio.
Yeah.
Christensen's Meats. I'm going to pour another splash of beer in this, and I'm going to toss this in the oven for like 5 to 7 minutes, just because I want that cold center. Give it a little moisture.
Beer and steaks, a tale as old as time.
And you know, if you're not much of a beer guy, wine works perfectly well. There was a period in time where I drank nothing but wine. I'll tell you that. Like in college,
You devolved.
I became more aware of my place in life. What I'm doing here, folks, is just giving a little 1/4-inch dice to these pears. If I had like more time and more wine, honestly, I would poach these pears. I'm not really into that today. Again, we're feeling lazy, so we're just gonna take these natural, fresh cut pears, toss them in with this salad.
Summertime, you could grill those pears with your steak outside. Do like a grilled steak pear salad. That would be pretty.
If you're feeling alternative, get a little peach going on. A bourbon glazed peach.
Ooh, Colorado known for the great Palisade peaches. What's Indiana known for? Corn?
Yep. Not as much Slipknot as you would think. It's more corn. Corn and soybeans, and the most episodes of To Catch a Predator were filmed in Indiana. We're not even doing a dressing on this either, you know? Some people would serve this with probably like an apple cider vinaigrette, but I'm not gonna waste time making. I'm out of breath already, and we're not even to the main course yet. I got this cheese at work right now, caved aged cheddar, injected with the fungal serum from blue cheese. So you have something that's a sharp block of cheddar, tastes like blue cheese.
Cool. Where did you inject that fungus? How many milligrams is that edible?
Not many people are fans of gorgonzola. I will say gorgonzola is a tough cheese to sell sometimes. Think of blue cheese on steroids. It has very pungent, very skunky smell, and that's why we're doing little bits of it. That's why we're like just breaking off piece by piece, not too much.
Little gorgonzola nuggets.
So whoever is like feeling the flavor, feel the taste, we're throwing all this right now into this bowl, and I'm just gonna give it a few tosses around, make sure it's evenly distributed.
You know, we preach this all the time on the show, but if you don't like just this one thing, try mixing it with all these other things because you kind of create new flavors. So if you're having a bit of pear, gorgonzola, pecan, how do you say it? Pecan?
Pecan.
Pecan? I think I say pecan. You're wrong. Pecan. So you have your pears, you have your gorgonzola, you have your pecan. So all together it's going to kind of create a new flavor. The one thing that we're kind of missing, like, is a pure sugary sweet, because the pear's sweet but tart. So that's where that apple cider vinaigrette would come into play.
Sometimes dressings get too oily and make a salad wilty. In my opinion, I like the fresh ingredients.
You're preaching the choir here. We are of the earth, as I always said for the first time right now. Yeah, man, it's like all one consciousness. It's like the earth, the universe, the flowers, the birds. It's
just a plant, dude.
It's just a plant. It's just a plant. Legalize it. It's just a plant.
Bongcast, new episodes every week, man. And me and Spaghetti, we get wild, we get weird. We eat a lot of food.
Where can we listen to Bongcast? That might help us.
Exclusively on Spotify. I don't have a camera or visual or anything, but we still do funny shit.
I have a camera in his room.
Local comedians. Wait, what? You know, you do bring up a good point with that sugary sweet.
No. I'm
just going to stick with that.
Dude, hey, we say there's no one way to cook, really. You cook for yourself, cook the way you like. Food is not a problem to be solved. It's a mystery to be explored.
Man, I love that right there. Holy shit. I just got
There's
chills.
one at the door.
Cooking, man, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, and everybody has different tastes. I hate the cooking shows that are like, you got to do this strictly. Dude, it's like, you do whatever you want. You can get inspired from a cooking show.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. This is the only way to cook a steak, or this is the best way to do this. Yeah. Dude, fuck you, man.
Hey, chat, isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy, chat? Look, what am I even looking at, chat? What am I even
Who's chat?
The chat? Again, it feels really fresh to be here on a cooking show, chef. Like, I haven't done one of these
since the last time you were here.
Last time we were here, and we were just ripping apart that pig.
We lost my favorite shirt, but sacrifices must be made.
Now with these broccolinis here, I'm thinking a stuffed chicken breast with like wild rice, cream cheese, a little bit of like, if you got any cool mustards. Like, I'm washing and preparing some side vegetables, some like clean vegetables here. We got some broccolini that we're gonna have trimmed up, some classic asparagus, fingerling potato. Like, this goes so well with anything. Any time of year, you get yourself some Yukon Gold, some fingerlings, a little bit of cracked pepper, a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic. It's all you need. I hate corn, I'll tell you that. I just washed those broccolini too, and that's something like, all these ingredients are basically picked up in a supermarket. You should always wash your vegetables, your produce. Farms I worked on, we were pretty clean. We would handpick a lot of shit. They'd have this big old machine that would come out, and it'd have all these rows of chairs, and you'd just have a machine to be like, all right, ready? Go. And you're just detasseling corn, pulling off corn grabbing. And I was 14 working on this fucking machine.
That's a whole different lifestyle that I'm used to. I grew up in a giant city. Closest farm from my house was Knott's Berry Farm.
I do miss the farm life, just because like we had big old houses. We had nothing to do. You're just enjoying your life.
I'm with you, man. I'm an old goat now, as I like to refer to myself. Slow life is good. I don't work in restaurants anymore. I do a little private dining here, do the show there. I have 2 lovely children. No, they're great. They're great.
Oh yeah, it's starting to smell real good. See, you got
a nice color. Yeah.
Color. What I'm doing right here is like kind of bastardly deglazing the pan, where I'm just throwing a splash of the beer back on there while it's still hot, and then just going around to pick up any extra juices. Beautiful. Look at that, still kind of firm. Always rest your meats. Pull them out at whatever temperature you need to make sure you get it in that realm.
Because it is still cooking.
It will continue to cook outside of the oven. Any kind of meat you're doing too. But specifically steaks, because you want to get that right temperature on the inside.
I feel very validated right now.
Chef, this is going well.
Let's go great.
This is going well. I'm trying to remember where I was going, what I was doing. Okay, so almost prepared the vegetables and the steak salad, and we're getting close to the portion of preparing the chicken. And I'm not professionally trained. I am talking on my ass half the time I'm cooking. I was trained in kitchens. I learned on the fly in kitchens all that way, worked my way up, and got to where I am now. Struggling after a pandemic. And never had the same job, never had the same career that I was. But we survive.
Restaurants took a hit, man. Pandemic. Oh. I was a part of a team that opened 4 restaurants in 3 years, from 2017 to 2019. I don't think any of them are left. I retired right before the pandemic. I'm not gonna say that I can see the future.
So it's your fault. Man, I still have like PTSD from it. I had to let go of 70 of my cooks. I had an entire staff that I had to sit down in the cafeteria
That's
and be
rough,
like,
dude.
we don't know what's going on. We're just, everyone's working from home now. And I spent the first 2 weeks of my vacation during the summer of 2020 with a keg and a hammock and doing dietary analysis of all our menu items. Calorie counts, proteins, sugars, everything, because we were feeding athletes. Everybody
Dang.
got laid off. My company, Levy Restaurants, laid off 125,000 chefs
Yeah, dude.
in a matter of 2 days.
That's
across
wild.
the country.
Yeah, that's wild.
And
That's a huge group.
And that's not even like including our line cooks and prep cooks and sous chefs. That's just the chefs. What I'm doing right here, folks, while I'm, going through my trauma, my PTSD as a chef, what's simplest way to do a butternut squash? Taking that, splash of bourbon, splash of brown sugar butter. Put the whole thing in the oven and just kind of like wait till it gets caramely and crunchy, an hour or so. And then you can just peel the flesh out from the inside of the skin.
Cooking it in the skin gives it a different, definitely like a richness of a flavor.
Beautiful steak. Let's do a nice little slice of rooney on the outside. See that? We got our line. Good red center still. Nice and beautiful, chef.
It looks perfect. Heck yeah.
And that was all done with the mental acuity of my brain. No timers, no nothing, no movie magic in there. I'm gonna get it into bite-sized pieces. A nice steak salad. Still a little cold center right there. Still a little cold. Still got that fat on there and everything. It could use a little more salt, I'll be honest. But it's not crazy on the salt because I'm nervous to use this pink salt. Really? I like Maldon salt, a big chunky. I like the big koshers, but that.
Yeah, I actually just bought the wrong one. This is great finishing salt though. Fleur de sel. You gotta look that one up because I don't speak French.
A little fleur de sel, and then we'll toss the steak in with that salad and give it a big old whoopity woo. I don't know words, man. I just woke up today, chef, with just like a
little whoopity woo. No,
a little whoopity woo. What the fuck
woo?
is that? What am I? This is gonna be our appetizer for our meals tonight. Is a beautiful steak salad. Steak, pears, spinach, gorgonzola, and pecans.
Yeah.
A salad is a bowl of greens with extra stuff, and that's all this is here. So enjoy at home, folks.
Those are kind of like moon rocks. It's a bowl of salad with extra stuff.
What video games you play, chef?
I play Mrs. Me. Hide the bong.
Wait.
I like to play Pokemon Blue. I really liked Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals lately, dude. It is like a little shark that sings that. I've always wanted to do that as a job, dude. Voice acting. As you can see, I diced those tomatoes real rustic, classic home style. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking this butternut squash, doing the same thing. You're an at-home cook. You're an at-home chef. You were never trained at the Cordon Bleu. You just want to make yourself a nice family meal for the evening. Who's going to judge your dicing? Who's going to judge your quartering? Take the pressure off of it and just enjoy cooking. Process is the art. That is what I've been saying for 20 fucking years. And then they put it in a movie and it pisses me off. It's crazy to think about that stuff, Like, I was just realizing that the other day is AI just learned to replicate itself. AI. We're one step closer to Skynet, dude. Terminator 2 was the titular Terminator title. So this is our trash here. We're going to recycle all of this. These are skins. You can use all of this in a compost pile, any kind of thing. Like when I go to a garden, you toss those about the garden. Toss those about the community garden and they're going to decompose and bring nutrients back into the soil. I'll never be vegetarian or vegan, but I always feel bad when I'm butchering. These things can feel pain too. These are screaming right now. Tiny little screams just...
We just have the frequency. Human ears don't have the frequency to hear the screams of vegetables.
Yeah, the edibles working.
Keep eating the salad.
That cheese is fucking phenomenal. They call me the rat bastard, and people always ask why. Because I think cheese is great.
That's why?
Yeah, because my parents met after they had me. Hey, ho.
I thought they called you a rat bastard because you punched that guy in the dick that one time.
You said you'd make me look cool, dude. If you were a Ninja Turtle, what would your favorite pizza be?
Dude, I don't know. The cheese in all the cartoons of the Ninja Turtles. I don't even care. I just want that cheese, dude.
That's what I mean.
If I was doing a classic New York pizza, I'd probably just do pepperoni.
I always wondered how they got pizza, because, how do they... Ninja Turtles don't have money. How are they ordering a pizza?
It's like a Robin Hood thing where they rob from the rich and buy pizza.
So we're teaching these kids to steal pizza? No wonder the 80s were fucked up, man. Turtles don't have money. That's my point. They don't have a bank account. What's their dad? Their dad's a fucking rat? How does he make the bills?
No,
how does he pay the electric and the sewer?
No, he's their sensei. No, the goo is their dad. The ooze is their dad.
That was my dad, too. Funny, I didn't know he was Jewish. Hey, couple of these pears.
Why am I so hungry? Dude, we've been here for 2 hours.
The butternut squash and the tomatoes I just chopped together. Since all of our herbs cook at different temperatures, I'm kind of cooking them differently. Time mitigation, one of the most important things in any kitchen, especially when you've got 17 fucking chickens in the window, you know?
Gotta have an internal clock.
All the time.
Always going.
Starchy items like that do take a long time to do, but these are fingerlings, potatoes, Yukon's Golds. We're gonna cut them really small. You've stolen some gear over the years. What's something that would be like your craziest gear that you ever stole?
Stole? I never did anything crazy, but I built a taco cart out of the back of my truck. When I first started doing that, I bought a bunch of equipment, but then I stole probably like a dozen 9-pans from my kitchen at the time. So that's probably like the biggest thing I stole. 9 pans are just like, it's like a 4x4 pan that's kind of deep that you use when you set up your cold lines or hot lines or whatever.
You get little insider kitchen knowledge. That's how we like measure pans and stuff. How big they fit into a full-size hotel pan.
Exactly, so there was a whole pan, half pan, third pan. Oh no, I was stealing 6 pans. And then the 9 pans are the little guys.
I used to use like this 9th pan as a rolling tray for a long time.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect sign, and I would always be like, this is my 8th pan.
And then, so then I would do that, and there was a time when I was working at, I've closed down a couple restaurants and taken over new restaurants. So you go in there, and you kind of raid whatever they got. I have some bar stools downstairs that I took from an old restaurant that closed down that we took over.
So I do want to clarify too, as we're rambling and ranting and raving and having a fun fucking time in here, I'm going to slice these potatoes long, like sticks, kind of like fries. I'm gonna get them oiled, and I'm seasoning up all of our vegetables with the same kind of blend. Salt, pepper, garlic. Seasoning is easy in a kitchen. People get over convoluted, and sometimes you can have too many seasonings that just make a dish muddy. Make a dish have no clear goal. Salt, pepper, it's a trifecta that is a tale as old as time, and it's what separates us from the fucking animals. A little tidbit, a little fun fact here about Yukon Gold potatoes. They start turning green like this, they're poisonous. It's like apple seeds, you know? Like, you could swallow them, it'd be okay, but once you bite and break the skin, nasty. Don't over oil shit. You're gonna wind up with a sheet tray that has a fucking lake of hot oil coming out of the oven.
Gonna be swimming.
Whoa! We did a little bit of Ruby Reds and some Yukon Golds in there, which is always great. Go to your local store and pick up a little packet of the trifecta and try some purple potatoes once in a while. You're just gonna be blown away. We're gonna throw these potatoes in. We're gonna leave space for the asparagus. So, Edwards Meats, we're gonna pull this chicken out and we're gonna start the chicken stuffing process. We don't have the rice already prepared. We're gonna do these Uncle Ben's like 90-second rice. You can stuff these chicken breasts with other kinds of grains. I've done so many different kinds of birds stuffed with different grains. Just have some rice that we heated up in the microwave. Movie magic, 90 seconds, blah, blah, blah. Simple ingredients, simple pizzas, Papa John's. Black truffle mustard, pig. We're talking squid ink. Little goes a long way. Truffle. Truffle is another flavor that gets overused all the goddamn time. Young chefs use it all the fucking time, and it's like, no, you just need a few slices, just right there. In the sake of cooking, little goes a long way.
We're keeping it simple here on Cookin' Meat.
Keeping it
Season 3, the simple season.
Smell this. Smell that right there. There you go. Good. Get in there. Get deeper in there and smell the truffle.
I usually just cook for Ricky and I, and he is a harsh critic.
You are a little picky guy. I can picture you being an asparagus guy.
Yeah, you fucking asparagus guy.
You look like an asparagus
I like
guy.
the asparagus guy. Yeah, fucking guy.
This truffle mustard, beautiful. What I'm mixing here is cream cheese, wild rice, and a little bit of mustard. And we're gonna stuff that inside the chicken breast.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Makes a little cream cheese herb blend. What I'm doing right now is using the heat from the cooked rice to soften the cream cheese and create this blend here. Man, smell that mustard. Here are our stuffed breasts already. Beautiful, Frenched by Ed's. So that's what they do with the Frenching, is they take it down like that, cut the tendons and make it beautiful. Sometimes a Texas lollipop, you know, with the little chickens.
Have you ever seen like a rack of lamb and you see the bones sticking out that are clean bones? Those bones have been Frenched. That's like you French a bone. Or a tomahawk steak, that's been Frenched.
This is a beautiful looking breast, and I made a small incision near the back of the breast here. And just slowly slid my knife in so that we have enough room for about the middle finger.
Affectionately referred to on the Cooking Meat as a meat pocket. We make a lot of meat pockets. They know all about the meat pocket.
Yeah, and we're gonna make another incision on this other chicken breast here. I've called it turkey twice now. Maybe I'm high.
Those edibles, dude. I'm telling you.
Hey, if you want a good time, Juana's assorted flavors, delicious. Now I'm taking this cream cheese Dijon mustard truffle mixture of wild rice and stuffing as much as I messily can. You'll see, is like we're saying it's simple, but again, it might be simple to us. To some people who don't cook regularly, this might be a little bit more difficult. This might be a little bit more challenging.
But also, like we say on the show too, do something. If you want to do something besides just a chicken breast, just grilled chicken breast, this is another option. Go to your local butcher, ask them for an airline Frenched chicken breast, and try something new, man.
Try whatever you want and experiment. The process is the art. Another steak for me. Wow, 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 wow. Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that wow? Isn't that weird?
Wow.
Wow.
What's your best impression?
My best impression?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez, Deborah, I'm a mammoth. I've been doing Jennifer Coolidge. It's kind of stink. I got fart real bad. I always do the Jewish guy from Star Wars too. You know.
Which was that?
Slave boy. Yeah. Facebook market. Yeah.
Wasn't he a slave owner?
No, what? Out of context. The hardest thing in voice acting is singing in another verse.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else but you.
That's tough.
You know, like
That's tough. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really tough to sing in voice acting. I mean, Rat Bastard's a character. I do another one that is a yodeler in a Home Depot. Big chicken breast. I'm getting a nice sear on them in here. In this pan. I'm gonna do the same thing. Beer chicken, beautiful marriage right there. Skin side first. Always use skin side first when you're French cooking. Got some herbs in there. You could throw a pat of butter in there, throw a little bit of your beer. I'm getting a nice crunchy gold skin.
That was good.
165 is your safest temperature for internal temperature of chicken. We're getting these hot in this cast iron pan. We're gonna throw it right in the oven. Boom, bam, boom. We're gonna wait 40 minutes, and that's ours. One thing to note too is that this is bone chicken that has the ribs in, and it is a large breast, very good size filet. It's going to take a long time to cook, so it's going to be pretty long.
Titties.
If you got a standard like 6 to 8 ounce boneless, skinless filet that you just want to stuff with this rice mixture, that's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes, kind of, depending on, you know, a lot of factors. That's why your food takes so long in any restaurant, all right? Just have a little sympathy for the people back there counting because they can't afford timers. Sage.
We've saged the chicken.
We're gonna deglaze. It's gonna get loud.
Yeah.
Nice. And then heat is off. We're taking this sucker to the oven. Now our oven is full of all of our vegetables and ingredients. We're gonna wait some time. The veggies will probably be done first when you're cooking with these smaller veggies like the asparagus that'll still go in. They're gonna take about 10 minutes, maybe less. I recommend going not higher than like 400, 425, because then you do run the risk of drying out your chicken if you haven't properly basted it or thrown any kind of butter or kind of beer in there. That should be the rest of the preparation. We'll cut back here with some movie magic and you'll see the final product once it's done.
All right, so we're finishing up the chicken in the oven. We got our vegetables roasted, our broccolinis or baby broccolis, squash and tomatoes, asparagus and potatoes are about to be done. Chef David is plating us up. I am so stoned, I cannot wait to eat this. Other than cooking and hosting and producing stand-up shows, you also have a podcast.
Who told you that?
Give us a little rundown on what you guys do on the it's the Bong Cast, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's a podcast I can get behind.
It's all about stoner comedy, and I mean, it's really a retrospective on what me and Spaghetti are as friends, you know? We get violent, we get emotional, you know, but we work it out in the end, and I mean, the bong is a big old bong.
Maybe one day there's a crossover.
Maybe.
The Cookin Bong Meat Cast.
I would love, oh man, have you come and cook a meal on our fucking non-visual. I'd be like a sports announcer, just like, and he's putting the chicken in the oven, and now he's basting it, and now he passes it over to sous chef Cam.
Yeah, that and ASMR also, right?
Oh, yes.
That's the kids love ASMR
Some
on the
Asperger?
TikToks.
I got a little Asperger's.
No, that's Asperger's.
Oh.
So all you meatheads, please check out the Bongcast, available everywhere that you can listen to podcasts to, as long as you only listen on Spotify.
Yeah, that's right. We got 1% of our listeners are in Ireland. You too could be one of our 1%. I mean, like this last episode, we had a live band in there. It's crazy, dude.
Whoa!
It was like tiny desk, but we were at a kitchen table. We're back in here, and we just finished cooking our meat. We are pulling the rest of our veggies here, nice and hot with our potato stayer. I took the rest of the rice mixture. I like to lay it out and kind of throw it over the pan here, get it warm so you can have a bed for your chicken underneath your plate. And then we have our piece de resistance, these beautiful French cut chickens. So take a look at that. These are our chicken breasts, stuffed chicken breasts.
That's perfect, dude.
One trick too that I was taught in kitchens, when you start seeing the juice and it's clear, It's fully cooked. Because the fat, it's still rendering inside there and all the cells.
Hey, that's actually a new one for me. I've never heard that.
If you want to do visual cooking and you're not literate enough to, maybe you're a Waffle House. You don't know how to read.
I don't know how to read. And I love the Waffle House. And I really love trains and maps. Dude, I love that. I love that like big risotto look. That looks fantastic.
Just a little bed to rest our chicken on. So our chicken is tired. Our chicken has had a long day of work. Hot, hot.
Ooh, look at the color on that potato. Perfect.
Nice and crunchy skin. Take one of our stuffed breasts here. Let's go with this guy. Take the herbs off there because they belong in the pan. Voila. We have ourselves here a beautiful
Look at that
stuffed chicken.
plate, man. I'm telling you.
Edwards Meats. Thanks again, Chef Pat.
Oh my gosh.
For having me today on this beautiful episode.
Oh my God, thank you. Are you kidding me? I'll try this, dude. Long-time friend of the show. Wait, we gotta do the whole thing, dude.
Do you think they know we're high?
Perfectly cooked, dude. Perfectly
Perfectly
cooked.
cooked.
The skin's got a nice crisp to it. Not like fried crisp, but roasted crispy.
One thing to remember, folks, with your chicken, using any kind of grain, you could stuff these with pasta, you could stuff these with orzo. You can do these gluten-free pastas and options inside there. Biggest thing about it is it keeps your chicken moist. It traps the moisture inside and cooks all those pieces of chicken quicker and more evenly and juicy like that.
Delicious.
Searing in that action we did to initially sear the skin on top of the chicken, any kind of meat will always save it because it sears in your flavor. And look at this, we got all of our crunchies on the bottom of the pan there.
I feel so validated right now that you said that because we preach that all the time. I'm gonna take some of these veggies.
They are bone-breasted ribs, remember that. You can use boneless fillets, same difference.
Oh man, the sweetness from the squash mixed in with that like savory cheesy from the wild rice cream cheese.
Cream cheese and mustard, and honestly, in this dish, I should have used a little bit more mustard. I think more of that black truffle mustard in there, like another spoon or two, would have this elevated flavor to the cream cheese.
You still get a hint of the black truffle though.
So good. It's just classic. Cream cheese chicken, man. That's America. That's Midwest. That's America.
That's America.
Dirty pipes that's drinking water that's next to a hole you shit in outside. You know, that's America.
This, honestly, and that cheesy rice on the bottom. I'm dipping the broccolini in there, acorn squash in there, potatoes. That is just, that is the star of the show right there.
Those acorn squash were a good option. Very nice.
Yeah.
And like butternut squash, a great substitute.
All right, Chef David, this was fantastic. Thank you for saving me. There's no way I could have done all this playing hurt. All right, I really needed a hand here today.
I'm glad you called me because this was a great episode. This was so much fun to cook. Something you can make at home with anything you want.
We like to end it with, if you could give one piece of advice to the world, what would it be?
Love each other, man. Be there. Seriously, enjoy your time with the people you are with. And RIP that bong out there for Bongcast. Smoke weed every day.
Hey, 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 hey. Smoke weed every day. We'll see you next time, meatheads.
It's just us now. Mystery meat, the mystery meat. It's just so sweet, the mystery is cutting.
That edible is kicking my ass.
You feel better, dude?
So much better.